Today's passage is from the Gospel of John, chapter 13, verses 21 to 32. We're now in Holy Week and on the very brink of the crisis which led to Jesus' death. We read the account of how Judas left the upper room to betray Jesus. How can we make sense of this? John's version, as so often in his Gospel, shows Jesus in overall control of the situation, not only knowing that Judas would betray him, but even sending him out to get on and do it. And that just after washing the feet of all the disciples, including Judas. If this was Judas' fate, his destiny, why is he elsewhere condemned for it? Why did he take his life afterwards? And indeed, why would God ask someone to do such an act? John's Gospel points to the paradoxes of our faith. God has given us free will, and yet God has a purpose for each of us. We make our own decisions, and those may include opposing God's will. Think of Jonah rushing off in the opposite direction. And yet God calls us back, pursues us, like a hound of heaven, as the poet Francis Thompson put it. Jesus was meant to die, yet what about those whose actions made it happen? What is their eternal destiny? The poet Ruth Etchells writes about this dilemma, and thinking about what might have happened when, as our creed states, he descended into hell. What did he do there? This is her poem, The Ballad of the Judas Tree. In hell there grew a Judas tree, where Judas hanged and died, because he could not bear to see his Lord crucified. Our Lord descended into hell and found his Judas there, forever hanging on the tree grown from his own despair. So Jesus cut his Judas down and took him in his arms. It was for this I came, he said, and not to do you harm. My Father gave me 12 good men, and all of them I kept, though one betrayed and one denied, some fled and others slept. In 3 days' time I must return to make the others glad, but first I had to come to hell and share the death you had. My tree will grow in place of yours. Its roots lie here as well. There is no final victory without this soul from hell. So, when we all condemn him as of every traitor worst, remember that of all his men, our Lord forgave him first.